Hey there, ready to dive into some epic thoughts?
I'm ready.
Today we're cracking open Ankur Warikoo's Do Epic Shit.
Oh, yeah. I've heard a lot about this one.
Now, before you think this is just another self-help pep talk, it's actually a collection of Warikoo's reflections shared over a year, almost like you're getting a glimpse into his personal journal.
Kind of like we're getting a sneak peek behind the curtain.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how he approaches the idea of success.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the corner office or the fat paycheck, but about personal growth.
Okay.
He talks about breaking those self-imposed limits we often don't even realize we have.
Okay, let's unpack this. He's saying it's less about the external markers of success and more about exceeding your own expectations.
Exactly. He challenges us to define success on our own terms. Instead of chasing someone else's definition of a dream job, maybe success is mastering a new skill or finally tackling that project you've been putting off.
Right.
And that leads us to his view on failure, which is, well, pretty unexpected.
He doesn't exactly shy away from it, does he?
Yeah, it's not at all. Warikoo sees failure as a stepping stone.
Okay.
He encourages us to reflect on our mistakes and extract valuable lessons from them.
So it's not about avoiding failure, but about using it as fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn from it and keep moving forward.
Exactly. Remember the quote, "Nothing beats the feeling of having done more in 24 hours than what the day expected you to." It's about pushing those boundaries, celebrating even the smallest victories.
That resonates with me. It's so easy to get bogged down by setbacks, but those small wins, those moments where you surprise yourself, they can be incredibly motivating.
Right. And there's this urgency in his message. He emphasizes taking action today, not tomorrow. He even uses those relatable examples like unfollowing those energy vampires on social media or just saying yes to yourself more often.
It's a reminder that time is precious and inaction leads to regret.
Right.
But how does this translate to the professional world? Is he saying we should just be impulsive and dive into everything?
Not quite. Warikoo actually believes one of the biggest keys to professional success is simply doing what you say you'll do. It's about being reliable, not needing constant hand-holding, just pure follow-through.
So it's less about grand gestures and more about consistent, dependable action.
Exactly. And he also dives into this idea of controlling your response to problems. Remember his analogy about the world reflecting our perception of problems?
Yeah.
If we choose to magnify them, they'll seem insurmountable. But if we can find a way to be happy despite them, that happiness can amplify too.
That's a powerful way to look at it. It's about taking ownership of our reactions instead of letting external circumstances control our emotions. But does this mindset apply to other areas of life, like our identities and careers?
Absolutely. Warikoo challenges that traditional notion of having a single career path.
Okay.
He gives examples like being an entrepreneur while also being a content creator or holding a day job while pursuing your artistic passions.
So he's saying we don't have to fit ourselves into a neat little box. That's refreshing, especially in today's world where people are exploring multiple passions and side hustles are becoming the norm.
Exactly. Warikoo encourages us to break free from societal expectations and define what truly matters to us individually. He urges us to rewrite the rules.
This rewriting the rules idea, what does that actually look like? Does he give specific examples?
He does. For instance, he talks about how we often define success by external validation, awards, promotions, money. But what if you rewrote the rules and said success was about the impact you have on others? Maybe you spend your evenings mentoring young entrepreneurs, and for you, that's the ultimate win, even if it doesn't come with a fancy title or a bonus check.
That's a powerful shift in perspective. So it's about identifying what truly resonates with you and defining success based on your own internal compass, not external markers.
Exactly. And this, I believe, is the core of his message about success. It's personal, it's fluid, and it's definitely not one size fits all.
You know, one thing that really struck me in Do Epic Shit is his take on habits.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a huge fan of chasing goals, which seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
Aren't goals supposed to be the driving force behind achievement?
Yeah, I thought so too.
But Warikoo argues that focusing solely on the end goal makes us miss out on the journey itself. He says, and I'm quoting here, "Habits build us goals, lay us barren."
Wow.
He's more interested in personal transformation, the kind that happens when you cultivate daily habits rather than just ticking off boxes.
I see.
So it's more about the process, about who you become along the way rather than just hitting a specific target.
Precisely. It's about embodying the qualities you admire. Becoming the kind of person who naturally achieves those goals almost as a byproduct of who they are. And one habit he really stresses is, surprisingly, sleep.
Okay, sleep. I wouldn't think of that as a game changer.
Right. But Warikoo is convinced that a consistent sleep schedule is crucial for waking up energized and productive. He argues that it's not enough to just be an early riser. You need to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the day, and that starts with prioritizing quality sleep.
I can definitely see the value in that. I'm often guilty of burning the midnight oil, and maybe that's why I hit that afternoon slump.
Okay.
Perhaps a consistent sleep schedule is the missing piece. He also talks about the importance of sharing your journey, not just for self-promotion, but almost as a duty.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is how he frames sharing as a form of guidance for others. He says, your story is valuable. Maybe you don't see it. Think of it as a guide for someone who hasn't yet gone through what you have. By holding back, he argues, we deprive the world of valuable insights.
So each of us has a unique story, a unique set of experiences, and by sharing them, we contribute to this collective wisdom that can help others navigate their own paths. But he also throws in this curveball about curiosity being more valuable than hard work. How does that work? Isn't hard work essential for success?
Warikoo acknowledges the importance of hard work, but he argues that curiosity can unlock doors that hard work alone can't. He encourages asking dumb questions and embracing that beginner's mindset. He believes that those seemingly naive questions can actually lead to unexpected breakthroughs.
Do you have any examples of that? How dumb questions led to something remarkable?
He shares a story about how early in his career he constantly asked questions that others considered basic or even silly. But by digging deeper, by not being afraid to expose his knowledge gaps, he actually uncovered a flaw in a project that no one else had noticed.
Oh, wow.
That led to a significant improvement in the project and earned him recognition for his sharp observation skills.
That's a great example. It shows that curiosity isn't just about asking questions. It's about genuinely wanting to understand, even if it means exposing your own vulnerabilities. And he ties this into his advice for young professionals, right? About building a reputation as a problem solver.
Yes, he emphasizes the importance of developing a reputation for being the person who figures things out. He even says your goal is to make people say, I am not sure if she knows how to do it, but I am certain if told to do it, she will definitely figure it out. I trust her. It's about cultivating that trust in your ability to find solutions.
So it's not just about what you know, but about your resourcefulness, your willingness to learn, and your ability to adapt and find solutions even when faced with the unknown.
Exactly. It's about embracing the unknown and being comfortable with not having all the answers right away.
Now, throughout the book, I kept noticing this recurring theme of awareness. It's like he's constantly reminding us to approach life with our eyes wide open.
You're absolutely right. Awareness is the foundation of Warikoo's philosophy. He believes all our decisions should stem from a place of awareness, not ignorance. He even shares personal examples of how he made seemingly risky decisions, like dropping out of his PhD program or leaving a comfortable corporate job. These decisions, while they might appear impulsive from the outside, were actually driven by a deep understanding of his own values and aspirations.
So it wasn't about being reckless, but about being deeply aware of his own motivations and making choices aligned with his true self.
Precisely. He wasn't certain of the outcome, but he was aware of the why behind his choices.
And this awareness ties into his point about living authentically, right? About not getting caught up in other people's expectations, but staying true to yourself, even if it means making unconventional choices.
Absolutely. He cautions against living a life dictated by external pressures and stresses the importance of aligning our actions with our own internal compass. He even talks about this concept of emotional debt.
That's the one that really hit home for me. It's like he's shining a light on those unspoken emotions, those unaddressed apologies, all those things we tend to bury deep down.
He argues that emotional debt can be far more crippling than any financial burden. He uses poignant examples like unspoken love for parents, unaddressed, apologies to friends. Those things that we often leave unsaid but can weigh heavily on our hearts. He even breaks down the various forms emotional debt can take.
Like what? What are some examples?
Well, he talks about the debt we accumulate when we don't express our true feelings, when we suppress our needs to please others. There's also the debt that comes from holding on to resentment or anger from unresolved conflicts. And then there's the debt we carry from past traumas, from emotional wounds that haven't fully healed.
It's like carrying around all this baggage, this unseen weight that can hold us back from experiencing true joy and connection.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Warikoo doesn't just point out the problem.
Yeah.
He offers solutions, practical steps we can take to address our emotional debt.
Like what? How do we start unpacking all that baggage?
He encourages us to start by acknowledging the debt to become aware of the emotions we've been suppressing. Then he suggests finding healthy ways to express those emotions, whether it's through journaling therapy or open communication with loved ones. He also stresses the importance of forgiveness, both of ourselves and others, as a powerful way to release emotional burdens.
That's powerful advice. It's a reminder that emotional well-being requires conscious effort, just like physical health.
Right. And it's an ongoing process. We may never be completely free of emotional debt, but by being aware of it and actively addressing it, we can prevent it from controlling our lives.
He also talks about the importance of saying no, right? About making deliberate choices instead of trying to juggle everything at once.
Absolutely. He argues that spreading ourselves too thin can lead to dissatisfaction and prevent us from excelling in any one area. He encourages us to be discerning with our time and energy to make conscious choices about what truly matters. He even shares a personal anecdote about a time when he took on too much, trying to please everyone and ending up feeling burnt out or resentful.
What happened? How did he get out of that situation?
He realized he had to start saying no, even to things that seemed important or beneficial on the surface. He had to prioritize his own well-being and focus on what truly aligned with his values and goals. He started declining invitations, delegating tasks, and setting boundaries to protect his time and energy. It wasn't easy at first, but he found that it ultimately led to a more fulfilling and productive life.
So it's about setting those boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being, not letting yourself get swept up in the whirlwind of obligations.
Exactly. And it ties into his point about calmness, particularly in the face of challenges. He describes calmness as a skill, something we can cultivate through practice. He emphasizes that it's not about suppressing emotions, but rather about responding to situations with composure and clarity. He even suggests specific techniques for cultivating calmness, such as meditation, mindfulness practices, and simply taking time for yourself to de-stress and recharge.
It's like finding that inner stillness amidst the chaos, which seems especially challenging in today's fast-paced world. But I can see how that inner calmness can lead to better decision-making and more effective problem-solving.
Absolutely. And he also challenges this pervasive pursuit of perfection, reminding us that it's an illusion. He says that people who genuinely enjoy their lives often have a significant advantage because they're not constantly striving for some unattainable ideal.
It's about embracing the imperfections, finding joy in the journey, rather than being fixated on some picture-perfect outcome.
Exactly. It's about letting go of the need to control every aspect of our lives and finding peace in the present moment. He even suggests reframing our perspective on perfection. Instead of viewing it as a destination, he encourages us to see it as a process of continuous learning and growth.
So it's not about being flawless, but about embracing those imperfections as opportunities for learning and self-improvement.
Precisely. It's about shifting our focus from achieving some external standard of perfection to embracing the journey of becoming the best versions of ourselves.
It's like he's giving us permission to let go of that constant pressure to be perfect and just enjoy the ride.
Totally.
And speaking of letting go, Warikoo also delves into the world of entrepreneurship, offering some pretty insightful and sometimes controversial perspectives.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One thing that stands out is his unwavering belief in the importance of a founder's commitment. He emphasizes the need to show up every single day, regardless of the challenges.
Right.
And he doesn't sugarcoat it. He even says, people would much rather work for a competent asshole than an incompetent nice guy.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't hold back, does he?
No, he does not.
It's a bit harsh, but I get what he's saying.
That's definitely a bold statement. It seems a bit harsh, but I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
In the fast-paced world of startups, competence and reliability are essential.
Yeah, you got to get stuff done.
You need to be able to deliver results.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that you have the skills and the drive to succeed, even if you're not always the most agreeable person in the room.
Right.
But while he stresses competence, he also acknowledges that entrepreneurship is ultimately about understanding people.
So it's not just about crunching numbers and building products. It's about building relationships both within your team and with your customers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He believes that empathy and patience are crucial for any successful entrepreneur.
Okay.
It's about connecting with people, understanding their needs, and building trust.
Yeah.
He even talks about trusting his team from day one, which is a pretty unconventional approach.
Most people would say that trust is earned gradually over time. It's interesting that he takes a different stance. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it speaks to his belief in empowering his team and creating a culture of mutual respect from the get-go.
Mm.
And he's also very transparent about the often overlooked aspect of founder dilution, which can significantly impact a founder's long-term gains.
That's a crucial point for any aspiring entrepreneur to understand. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of securing funding, but founders need to be aware of how dilution can affect their ownership and control down the line.
Exactly. He breaks it down in a way that's easy to understand. He uses real-world examples to illustrate how even a small percentage of dilution early on can have a significant impact later, especially as the company grows and attracts more investors.
So it's about being strategic and understanding the long-term implications of the decisions you make early on.
Exactly. And he also makes this very pointed statement that ultimately customers care about solutions, not about a founder's personal struggles or background.
Yeah.
He says, and I'm quoting here, "No one cares a fuck about who you are."
He definitely has a way of cutting through the noise and getting straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
It's a reminder that what matters is the value you provide, not the story you tell.
Precisely. It's about focusing on solving problems and delivering results. He also makes a distinction between simply running a company and building an institution.
So there's a difference.
There is.
It's about creating something that has a lasting impact, something that goes beyond just generating profit.
Exactly. He emphasizes the importance of culture respect and fostering employee growth.
Okay.
It's about building a legacy, not just a business. Now, another area where Warikoo gets really personal is money. He openly shares his own financial journey, including his mistakes, and offers some valuable insights.
His perspective on money is shaped by his childhood experiences with financial hardship. Right?
Yes. He talks about growing up with limited resources and how that instilled in him a deep appreciation for the value of money. But at the same time, he emphasizes that money should buy freedom, not rule your life.
So it's about finding that balance between financial security and pursuing your passions without being consumed by the pursuit of wealth.
Exactly. And he's incredibly candid about the financial mistakes he's made, sharing hard-earned lessons about taxes, inflation, and compounding liquidity, and the importance of patience.
Right.
It's refreshing to hear someone be so open about their financial struggles and offer practical advice based on those experiences.
It makes him relatable. It shows that even successful entrepreneurs make mistakes and that learning from those mistakes is part of the journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He debunks common money myths like money is evil or buying jewelry is an investment, providing a grounded perspective on wealth and financial well-being.
Okay.
And finally, he delves into the realm of relationships, starting with the most important one, the relationship with yourself.
He asks some thought-provoking questions like, would you be friends with your own self? Or would you marry yourself?
Right.
It's about taking a hard look in the mirror and being honest about who you are and how you show up in the world.
He encourages self-reflection and recognizing both our strengths and our flaws. He also emphasizes the importance of healing from past hurts, particularly within families, stressing that it's a choice we make, not simply fate.
It's about breaking those cycles of negativity and choosing a different path, one that leads to growth and healing.
Absolutely. He also dives into the complexities of communication, arguing that most problems stem from misunderstandings. He stresses the importance of open and honest dialogue in all our relationships.
It's about being willing to have those tough conversations even when they're uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You got to be able to.
He highlights the difference between empathy and sympathy, encouraging us to truly understand another person's experience rather than simply offering pity. And he also stresses the power of respect, saying that true respect endures even after you've gotten to know someone beyond their initial persona. It's about building relationships based on authenticity and genuine connection.
Wow, this has been an incredible deep dive. Warikoo's willingness to share his personal experiences, both the triumphs and the struggles, is truly inspiring. His book is full of practical advice, but what really resonated with me was his emphasis on self-awareness.
He believes that self-awareness is the foundation for making conscious choices that align with our values and ultimately lead to a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
He even talks about identifying our own superpowers, those unique qualities that help us navigate challenges and achieve our goals.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we challenge you to consider what your superpower is. What is that one thing that helps you rise above adversity and achieve epic things? Take some time to reflect on this question and see what insights emerge. Remember, as Warikoo reminds us, we all have the potential to do epic shit. It's about embracing our strength, learning from our experiences, and constantly striving to become the best versions of ourselves.
And never underestimate the power of curiosity. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and never stop learning.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep doing epic shit.